maybe just introduce yourselves and tell us what sort of business you have and what the team is and sort of work that you do.
So I'm Duncan and this is Zarna, my wife. We are Optiplumb. We're obviously plumbers, gas fitters and drain layers. And we've got 7 of us, including me. So excluding Zarna, we have 7.
When did you start the business?
Last March the 29th.
Not bad going.
Nah,
Pretty good.
not too bad.
Yep. What sort of work do you mainly do?
Predominantly maintenance. I'm a maintenance plumber. I have been for over 15 years now.
Yep.
So that's what I do. We also do a lot of renovations and a little bit of new build.
Yep. Okay. So maybe just tell us what life was like before you joined the $1 Million Tradie, where you're at, what was happening.
I was working
Yeah.
24/7. There was just you and Luke, so just 2 guys. And yeah, he was just working all day, all night, all weekends. But very passionate and like very excited about it. But yeah, very busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the story.
Happy days. Yeah.
She knows better than anyone.
That's right. So let's talk about what you've done. What are the changes you've made over the last sort of 8 to 12 months?
Oh, obviously for a business of our size, the changes are fairly phenomenal in terms of quantity. We've done, well, heaps and heaps. We've hired 6 staff, 4 vehicles. Website's gone up. Google My Business has happened. Systems are getting built, probably 20 or 30 checklists. Systems are being built, procedures. I've hired an admin, an office manager, which changed my life, obviously. I wrote the manual for it, which is
That's impressive.
epic. Yeah. Tons and tons and tons of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Can you explain what the tons and tons and tons of things are?
Yeah, so yeah,
Make it juicy.
checklists. I threw a few up on Facebook
Yeah.
the other day. Checklists for anything that will stop little bits and pieces happening that tend to annoy employers, just things that shouldn't be forgotten, getting forgotten. Checklists for that. Procedures to stop questions towards me. You know, we've obviously all got it in our head, but getting it on the paper is just... although my shoulders seem tense, they're a lot less tense than what they have been in the past. So every procedure that I write, whether it be, and a good example is I've just written a full procedure for a new house build in terms of admin and operations all the way from start to finish. You know, so like 8 hours worth of work, 9 hours worth of solid work, but full flow chart. And that finishing that was like, you know, having a holiday on its own.
So
Gave it to my office manager, and now she manages the inspections, the scheduling, the, you know, bits and pieces that I shouldn't have to be doing, so I can grow it.
It's killer.
Yeah.
So whereabouts, when you kicked off, like you started from 0. Yep. So whereabouts are you hitting revenue-wise nowadays?
Yeah. Well, we started
Monthly.
at 0 when I went with you. I was scratching at the door.
Yep.
So I was making, I think, about 38.
Yep.
Then, and saying, "Come and take me, Tony. Let's go."
That doesn't sound quite right.
It sounds perfect for me right now.
Yeah.
Right now, the last couple of months we've done. We're aiming for 120, but we're doing like 117, 118, 116. So yeah, around 120. We're aiming for 120, but we won't be there for long. Yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah. So
Okay. So what have been the results of the changes that you've made? Actually, before we do that, let's talk about hiring. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Because obviously hiring 6 or 7 people in less than a year is pretty good effort, right? So what do you do there? What's the process? What have you learned? What have you picked up? What can you share?
First one was poached. I won't lie. But
That's fine.
To be honest, I wasn't poached. I worked at another place and he came with me, but that's all down to, I guess, the type of person I am, if I'm going to be honest to myself.
I will say, because he won't want to talk about himself, but Duncan has always, the company that we were with beforehand, Duncan was very big on team culture there. He was kind of like the ops manager, director there, and he was very big on team culture, and so he had a lot of guys that looked up to him, and he had his little wing of men. So when we went out on his own, straight away they were like, "Can we come with you? Can we come with you?" And we were like, "We don't have the capacity to take you guys all." We just started hiring, and sure enough, time passed, and even though it had been months, there was still can you take me?
Yeah.
So we were very fortunate in that sense that, the hireage, we didn't really have to look too hard. We put the ad up and we had a few guys.
Yeah.
But it's the stuff that we've been talking about today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
It's cultural stuff.
Yeah.
It's all
It was.
based on culture. And
because you were actually a very big part of that previous company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a small place. We make a big effort as a team. I'm trying to develop a culture where we all make an effort to put our best foot forward in terms of hiring. Like the boy, I said, it's a big thing between us. We don't no one acts like a fool in the merchant or anything like that. Everyone's acting professional. Everyone's not acting, being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's being professional, and a lot of my guys get, other tradespeople who are even business owners, one-man bands and things, look up to the guys that work for me. So it's awesome, and it helps our marketing for hiring staff, as Cam said.
So when they go to like their courses or their tech weeks, I think if they're happy at their job, they're talking about their job a lot. So sometimes we've got people in the past from that as well too. So, you look like you work in a cool place. You love your job, you love where you work, you love your boss. I want that. And then obviously with your apprentices, you kind of went and did a little bit of a talk and a seminar there.
I engaged with the Wintech in Hamilton, so I've got a bit of a in there, you might say, and I get sort of the cream of the crop from the pre-trade.
Yep.
Pre-trades. I go in and I look at the 6 best ones and I interview them, and then I take the best one. So I've got some primo apprentices right now.
That's a great strategy, right?
Yeah.
But you go in there, you're very passionate about the trade, and you go in there and you talk about the trade and you talk about how it's a great area of work, and so when you go in there really passionate, you've got these young fresh people that are in there, they're like, oh cool, they're already excited about learning something new. So I think you do make it seem attractive, and so when you say there's a job going, they're like, me.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah.
Yep. So what have been the results of the changes that you've made for you guys and for the business?
Obviously massive for us as a family. I've done far too much physical work over the last 10 plus years, you know what I mean? Physical and mental in terms of business growth and things like that. So I'm personally in a far better headspace because I'm not a control freak, but now I feel like I'm in control.
Yep.
Oh, I'm a control freak. Okay, I'm a control freak.
We're all control freaks here. That's why we're here. That's why we own a business.
But yeah, I feel like I'm in control, and really, it's just systems. It's also, to me, I'm an absolute system nut case. If I can get it out of my head, then it's out of my head. You know what I mean? It's out of my head and it's on paper, and then someone else can learn from that. That's how Brad was talking about training apprentices. So that's what I do with tasks. So we meet, we talk, I understand where they're struggling, and then I systemise what they're struggling with, or I procedurise what they're struggling with, and it seems to work.
It's killer. What have you noticed, Zarna?
He's a lot more present, and I think Duncan is the kind of person that if I wanted us to have a holiday or a day off, I had to beg, please. I had to book it well in advance. There's no way I could go to him and be like, hey, next Friday, could you take half a day off or something like that? I was like, no, it's not happening. But he's way more present. He's not working every single night. Weekends he doesn't work. He's coaching our son's rugby team. He takes the kids to swimming.
That's awesome.
So a lot more present and a lot more available, and just not so stressed. He's just really enjoying it. He's happy. That's good.
That's good. Super good. I'd love to talk about mindset, because you are a bit of a weapon. So what are the mindset shifts that you've taken? Obviously, you didn't start. You started from scratch, but you had a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's some learnings from that. So what are the mindset? What's the mindset you've taken into setting up this business and getting it roaring straight away? What do you think has allowed you to do that?
There's 2 main ones that come to mind immediately, and the first one would be if you're feeling comfortable, in terms of growth, if you feel comfortable doing something, it's probably too late.
That's amazing. I love that.
Let
that sink in.
That's pushed me since day one, on the 1st of April last year. I'm about to look at getting a building, and it feels pretty friggin' uncomfortable, and that's what's pushing me to do it.
Yep.
Because everything I've done up until now in the last 18 months has been extremely uncomfortable, but it's working. So, you know what they say.
Yeah.
The other one would be, obviously, leads back to systems, but just making sure that I let people do what they're hired to do. Yeah, rather than hiring them and then doing it for them anyway.
I like that. Who's been guilty of doing that? Yeah, love it. Okay,
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Team, if you've got some questions for the A team up here, I'd love to know. If there's questions online, Damo, let us know.
Yeah, Mark Fawcett jumped in real quick. So
here we go, Mark
jump in,
Fawcett.
mate, with your burning
Questions
questions.
general. So, Mark, if you want to unmute, and if you've got questions, if you're an innie, please come up to the microphone and ask your questions.
Hello there. You look like a supermodel couple, may I say, sitting up there. Now, can I get some understanding, because I've been there many a times, the uncomfortable feeling, can you explain that, please, for me?
Oh,
Unless you've got it somewhere written down and send it to me.
no, it's a hard one to write down. I'd assume it's different for everybody, but for me, it's probably anxiety or anxiousness about should I or shouldn't I? You know what I mean? The unknown. That's really the feeling I'm talking about. The unknown or the not quite ready. If you're a perfectionist, then you probably struggle to not research the heck out of things before you do them. Or
Overthinking constantly.
overthinking. Yeah. If I'm overthinking or I'm anxious or I'm, I know that it's right, but it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean?
What's some example? Just maybe give a couple of other examples which would help people understand.
Perfect one is, okay, it's just me. I'm working 18 hours a day and I've got a van. I'm then going to go and spend $40,000 on a vehicle and I'm going to hire someone, but I don't have work for that right now. So I'm peaking. But I'm going to do it and I'm going to create a situation where I just make that work happen because, it's rugby analogy. You pass it in front of the man so he runs into the hole and not behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Similar situation, I suppose.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Mark?
Absolutely. I mean, especially the fear of doing less than 18 hours. That's a bit scary, eh?
Scary or stupid? I don't know.
Yeah. Jolly good. Hey, appreciate that, Mark. Love your question. Knocker. Oh, Larissa, right close to the mic.
My question is how did you form that relationship with Wintech, and what made you go from operations manager for another company to then starting your own company and then knowing to join someone like PT?
It's a bit of backstory here.
Yeah, it's a big backstory for that one.
We won't share this, so you can speak freely if you want.
No, yeah, that's all right. Wintech was just a light bulb moment. I basically went in there and just said, I want the best people that you've got nicely. And they sent me to a dean, what they call a dean out there. And I shook hands with him and bought him lunch. And then now I get emails regularly from him. Yeah, so worked out pretty well so far. What was the other part of that question? It was about operations.
So how do I go from working where you were to now? Yeah.
And why did you join?
That was a long story, but I was a shareholder in that company. So I did my apprenticeship for that company. I became a shareholder for that company. I then helped grow that company to fairly large, so 30 staff. I was managing 2 branches, 30 staff, and it just wasn't, like I said, I'm a perfectionist. It wasn't working out. The partnership wasn't quite working. We were friends. We just had different ideas of what we were doing. We weren't as clear as the boys that spoke before us. So
you guys very much seem to be on the same page of where you want to
although
take the
different
business.
people, they're driving the same vehicle or heading in the same direction, however you want to put it. We weren't. So it was, I luckily enough met this man some time ago, probably 2015.
So we used to work with this other company.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
I suppose you would have liked to have kept going down that track.
Oh yeah.
As well,
yeah.
It's a bit of an insight on how the partnership was. Duncan really wanted the growth in it too, and someone was quite comfortable with how things were already, performing. So.
Question of values, right? Just not right or wrong, just different value set.
Yeah.
When you started out, did you do like a 5 and 10 year plan? And in that 5 and 10 year plan, have you got a size of company that you want to get to?
Haven't done a 5 and 10 year. it's all moved pretty quickly. I would have loved to have, but I'm more or less, so at the moment, it's day by day at the moment, it's all been pretty quick. But I do have a plan. Right now, I want to hire 2 more people, and I want to get an operations manager and probably another administrator somewhere before, middle to late next year. I'll have all of that together. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's going to
So
be in
in
about
terms
three
of 5, then
months'
I'll build the 5-year plan. Yeah.
yeah, because the,
By the
the
end
company
of it.
that you used to work for was quite a sizable company. So
Oh, yeah.
So you can see that the size that you need to get to make it
Yeah.
kind of efficient.
Yeah.
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 You also need an exceptionally good operations manager, don't you?
Yeah.
Because that's what you used to do. Do we have any more questions from the Honeys? Damo?
Yeah, do you want to jump in, Carl? Floor's yours.
What job management software do you use? And with your checklist, are they on that? And if they are, do the guys, are they forced to fill these checklists out, or how do you manage those?
Yeah. So right now we use Fergus. I've just actually signed up to Simpro on Tuesday. So I've started running through all of the, not implementing, but getting into that currently with Fergus. And the forms, yes, they're all hand built into Fergus. The checklists aren't enforced. Fergus doesn't allow you to enforce them. So they're not enforced. That's just good thing.
You do that.
Yep. Huh?
Thanks, Carl. One more. Nice and close. Yeah.
Hey guys, so yeah, going from being on your own and growing that quick is pretty impressive. So my question is, what was the first steps you made to start implementing? What did you delegate first?
I hired first I hired a tradesman, so I delegated part of the work, and then office manager, I knew I had to have an administrator as fast as possible because it was just bottlenecking the heck out of me. Yeah, doing admin for me is, yeah,
Not fun.
not fun. No.
Good question. Any
Yeah.
more questions, team?
Did you cop any flack from the company that you left, and especially when their staff came and worked for you? And how do you feel about that morally? Does it impact on you at all?
I feel outstanding about it actually. Now that I'm sitting up here, but no flack. We're still friends. It's just to be brutally honest, I was more in than he was, and I got repaid for that when I left.
I also think, Jenny, these people probably would have gone elsewhere if we hadn't taken them.
Yeah.
They were at a stage where they were unhappy. So I think the conversation was, well, if they're not going to come to me, they're going to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I think we gave them a lot of tools and a lot of, input how to potentially keep them or what they needed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Duncan is incredibly honest and has very high integrity.
Yeah.
Probably too high sometimes.
Yes, I agree.
I mean that with love, right?
No, I
Can
agree.
we sneak in one more question?
One more question.
Jump in there, Brad, Oliver, and Sean.
Hey, I'm just interested in what your marketing sort of strategy looked like for that rapid growth of 6 guys.
Great question.
Yep. It's literally networking, mate. I haven't paid a cent for Google AdWords yet. So I've currently it sounds stupid, I know, but I've worked in Hamilton for a long, long time. I know lots of people within the construction industry, so no one's lucky, but I literally only use, the power of reviews has been huge. We have 60 or 70, maybe 80 5-star reviews, and that helps a lot. We're just starting to get Google working organically. So I haven't done much. I do sponsorship, local sponsorship. I'm massive on networking. I do a lot of networking locally, and social media. Little bits and pieces of social media, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. There you go.
Not sophisticated at the moment anyway, marketing-wise.
Yep. So no magic answers there, but the
No
benefit of
magic
hard
answers,
work over
sorry.
years.
I
Yeah.
know, disappointing answer.
The
that
reviews
one,
help though massively.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
using Review You?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Killer. All right. Great work, team. Love the
Thank you.
progress you made. Let's give these guys some love. 3, 2, 1.